Hi there, I am Anthony Bowles from Anthony Bowles Architecture Ltd. Thank you for finding and watching this video. It is part of a basic introductory series on what surveys you may need to get your new building project underway. It may not be the most exciting film footage you've ever watched, but if you aren't familiar with the process already, hopefully at least some of it will be useful. Today, I will first run through the overall list of surveys to consider, subject to your project's context, and then we will address one particular survey in more detail. Here is the full survey list. Let's run through it quickly for completeness. Measured survey, drainage survey, property ownership documents review, desktop local planning survey, desktop heritage survey, ecology surveys, asbestos survey, and acoustic survey. In this first video, we will just cover the one at the top of the list, the measured survey, which is the most universally applicable and useful. The first simple fact is that if your project site includes an existing building that will be retained to any extent, a reliable measured survey is essential. This survey should be a detailed and accurate dimensional assessment of your property, carried out by a specialist company with the appropriate digital tools. The precise information produced will then be an ideal starting point for all your drawn project information. Please note that this is not the same as any home buyer's survey you may have had carried out, and equally it is not the same as any estate agent marketing floor plans you may have been given as part of a property purchase pack. The scope of the survey depends on your property and project. For example, a single-storey flat renovation might only need a single basic floor plan, whilst a house extension would typically require multiple floor plans, a roof plan, garden levels, boundary wall information, external elevations, and at least one section. You can also tailor the level of detail to your requirements. Do you need or want radiator positions, for example, or electrical socket locations? These choices can impact the cost and complexity of the survey, but they may also be relevant. So making early decisions about what information you require will help you get the survey to a price that reflects your goals. Let's take a quick look at some example survey drawings so you can see what they look like. As you can see, this one shows the overall ground floor plan of a terraced house. It sets the building into the context of the road and the front garden. It shows the rear garden and in this case a small outbuilding. The boundary wall is illustrated in a good level of detail. It shows door positions and widths, window positions, stair positions, chimney locations, wall thicknesses. And all of this is done with a high level of accuracy and consistency. This next drawing shows a more detailed view of a first floor plan. Again, as you can see, it shows very clearly differences in wall thicknesses, shows windowsill heights, window head heights, floor levels relative to an overall datum, and again, all to a high level of detail and consistency, much more so than would typically be achievable with a survey prepared by hand. This next drawing shows a street elevation. This would be very useful as part of a planning application set, particularly if, say, your property is in a conservation area. You can see that this elevation also picks up on neighbouring properties, which is extremely useful. Finally, here is a long section. This drawing would be especially useful if, for example, you were looking to propose a new extension in the back garden. A section like this gives you a very clear indication of how levels relate internally and externally, as well as ceiling heights and headroom under existing structure. So, apart from having some good existing information, why is all this important, you may be wondering? Well, firstly, the survey drawings will also be the starting point for your proposed designs and any planning application drawing sets you need to submit. They are also invaluable for builders and subcontractors, helping them all to price work and materials more accurately. They assist with space planning for bought furniture, like checking that the specific wardrobe or bed you had in mind would actually fit the way you intend before it arrives on site. And finally, they are also useful in supporting other professionals and consultants, such as party wall surveyors, both yours and your neighbours. Supplying them with accurate information to use on your behalf is just a really strong starting point for neighbourly relations and can make for a more streamlined process moving forward. Now, as a last point, Separate to the measured survey activity, we would also advise preparing a full room-by-room inventory, which would have information on all the actual stuff in each room. For example, the size and style of the doors, how many electrical sockets there are. Here is an example of what this inventory might look like as a template. As you can see, it can be pretty comprehensive. This one covers room finishes, room dimensions, doors, windows, radiators, light switches, and electrical items. If you have some information like this compiled at the very start of a project, it will go again a long way to speeding up the production and accuracy of other information. For instance, costing the proposed electrical works or sizing replacement doors and radiators. So, that's it. I hope this has been useful. In short, a measured survey is a great way to kickstart your project, and it's something that can often be actioned immediately while other decisions about how to move your project forward are still being made. The next video will be about below ground drainage surveys, everything you did or perhaps did not want to know about this fascinating subject and how it can impact your project. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to contact me. I will put my email address at the end of the video. Thank you for watching.